That landmark decision from the Supreme Court
for LGBTQ rights, bans discrimination by employers
based on sexual orientation or gender identity.
What will this ruling mean for employers and educators? Watch LGBTQ+ Rights and Equity on Outlook Montgomery.